So now we're going to look at subtracting fractions. Let's quickly revise some of this vocabulary. We've got proper fractions. What's a proper fraction? Think to yourself, oh, it's proper, it's very proper. So it's a normal fraction. And in normal fractions that we see, the numerator is smaller than the denominator, so it's less than 1. Then we've got those improper fractions. They're a bit strange, they're a bit weird. We don't see them that often because they're improper, and that's because the numerator is bigger than the denominator, and the number is bigger than a whole, a 1. Then we've got mixed numbers. Mixed numbers are a bit mixed up. They've got integers, but they've also got proper fractions. 2 1/4, 1 1/3, 4 3/5. And then we've got like fractions. And we learnt about those in our last video. And in like fractions, the denominator in numbers is the same. So a half and a half are like fractions. 2/3 and 1/3. And then we have related fractions. Related fractions are where we can easily move between them. So a half and a quarter, an eighth and a quarter, a third and 2/6. These are what we call related fractions. Okay, let's start off with subtracting fractions then with some manipulatives. So my first question says 3/4 take away 1/4. So I'm going to use a part-part whole to help me. Now 3/4. Well, when we're subtracting, what we're starting off with is our whole. So our whole is 3/4. 1, 2, 3/4. And now what I'm going to do is take away a quarter. I haven't got that quarter, so what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to write 1/4 is what I have to take away. Okay, so if I take away now this 1/4, what have I got left? I've got left 2/4. Let's have a look at another one. Now I'm going to look at doing some mixed numbers, okay, which are like fractions in a subtraction. I've got 1 and 2/3. So I've got 1 whole and 2/3. And that's my whole. And what I want to subtract is 1 and 1/3. Press this up. 1 and 1/3 is what I need to take away. Okay, so I'm going to take away 1. And I'm going to take away 1/3. And what am I left with? I'm left with 1/3. Now let's have a look at subtracting some improper fractions. Here I've got 7 halves, take away 3 halves. So, 2 halves, 4 halves, 6 halves, 7 halves. Let's check that I've got that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 halves. And I'm going to take away 3 of the halves. 3 halves I want to take away. Okay, so let's do that now. Take away 1, 2, 3. What am I left with? I'm left with 4 halves. So I can put 4 halves here. Now those people who really watched this carefully and understood last time will know that they can see a pattern there. And actually when I have 2 halves, I can say it's the same as having 2. Same value, it just looks different. So we say same value, different appearance. Now, that was all of those were quite easy, because what we were doing was we were subtracting like fractions. Fractions with the same denominator. Let's have a go now at subtracting fractions where the denominators are different but they're related. We can move between them easily. So I've got a half as my whole and I want to subtract 2/4 from it. 2/4 from it. Well, straight away I can see that I can't take 2/4 from this. I'm going to need to change it into quarters. Let's see if I can change it into quarters. Oh, well, 2/4 is the same as a half. So I'm going to swap it for those. Still got the same value. And now I can take away 2/4. 1, 2. And so what I'm left with here is 0. So my answer to 1/2 take away 2/4 is 0. Let's have a look at another one. This is a mixed number take away a fraction. And again, they're related because we can move between them easily. 2 2s is a 4. But let's see how we can have a go at this. So we've got 1 and 3/4. 1 and 3/4. And what I want to do is take away a half. Well, I've got no halves here to take away. I could do it in 2 ways, I guess. I could swap my whole for 2 halves, or I could look at my quarters and see if I could do that. Well, actually, I could make a half here by putting that on there. So if I do that, still got the same value. I've now got 1 half, 1 whole, 1 half and a quarter, but it's still the 1 3/4, and I have to take away a half. If I take away that half, what am I left with? I'm left with 1 and 1/4. Okay, now let's look at our final one. Well, this one, again, these actually aren't related fractions. They're improper fractions, but they're not related because I couldn't jump between these in one step. So I've got 9/3. 9/3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I'm starting to really understand this now, so I'm starting to see, oh, with 3 lots of that, I've actually got 3 wholes. I can see it straight away already, and that's helping me already. And I want to take away 4 halves. 4 halves. Well, I need to see what I can swap here for halves then. Well, 2 halves, 2 halves are the same as 3/3, so I'm going to put that one in there. Same value, different appearance. And have a look, well, these I know are the same as a whole, and I know 2 halves are the same as a whole. So I can swap those as well. So I'm left with 3/3 and then those 4 halves. I need to take away 4 halves. So let's take away those. And what am I left with? I'm left with 3/3. Is there another way we can say 3/3? There is. It's the same as 1 whole. So in this video, we've learned to subtract proper fractions, improper fractions, and mixed numbers, which are like fractions and related fractions, using fraction cards.